الله تحركش قلت له جنبينا انطلق فقاك.
Hey man, say man, what it do, man? Welcome to Freestyle Friday, man. I'm your host, JustNatebtw, man, and in today's video, man, we'll be reacting to the famine in Gaza, man. If you don't know, man, Gaza is going through a lot right now, man. From getting bombed, from having things destroyed, from not having no food, man. They are starving. Famine is increasing there. But yeah, man, get whatever you need before I start this video, man, and let's get right into it.
Gaza has reached level 5 starvation, which means that they're at a point of no return. It's described as extreme famine, and you have this idea of like, oh, famine means they're hungry. The word famine does not pertain to how hungry someone is. The word famine pertains to how much food there is, and the definition of famine is an extreme scarcity of food, means there's no food for people to eat. So when you ask how hungry are these people, it's maximum. They have nothing to eat. And even if these people do get eat, they're going to have permanent brain damage, permanent damage to their bodies, permanent damage to their genes. Their literal DNA is going to be permanently damaged by this. And I know if you're watching this, then you feel the same way I do, and you are grieving just as much as I am, and you feel as helpless as I do. But we can't look away. We can't look away from the pictures of the children in the Holocaust right next to a split screen of the children in Gaza, and they look the exact same. We can't look away from these videos of these men, women, and children who are begging us for food on their phones, and this is a direct result of Israeli policy and action, which means it's a direct result of our tax dollars and our leadership. No one here will ever be the same.
Wow, man. As y'all can see, man, we have to pray for Gaza, man. We have to pray for Gaza.
They are at stage 5 of malnutrition in Gaza. This is an irreversible stage of famine where food alone will not be enough to save lives. Dozens of people are collapsing daily. And there are food aid trucks right outside the gates, but Israel is not letting them in. And in Gaza, at so-called food aid distribution points, they are being met with gunfire, taking out dozens of starving people trying to get food every single day the past few weeks. They are systematically taking out children who are trying to get food and water. This is a truly demonic entity, and the U.S. is actively participating in this. None of it would be possible without American weapons, funding, and political cover. The silence and complicity of our generation in the face of these atrocities will be a stain studied for decades to come. We said never again after the Holocaust, yet here we are, again. Except this time, this one is being live streamed to everyone on the planet in high definition, and the United States is directly committing it. And when our children ask where we stood, we won't be able to lie. There's a digital record of everything we say and did. And unfortunately, our society is punishing people for speaking out against this. I've lost opportunities myself because I speak out against it. But I refuse to be silent in the face of these atrocities, because silence or ignorance is complicity.
Yeah, man. We have to speak up.
Over the last 48 hours, Israel has deployed banned chemical weapons in Gaza City using remotely detonated robotic devices in residential areas to release toxic fumes. Survivors of the genocide living in Gaza City right now report burning sensations in the nose and lungs and difficulty breathing. Since day one of this genocide, Israel has been consistently documented using banned chemical weapons to destroy the Palestinian people. The weapon that they've been using that is the most well documented in contravention to international law is the use of white phosphorus incendiary chemical weapons. White phosphorus weapons are easily identifiable when used because of the streaks they leave in the air. And they're banned because they are impossible to put out. You drop white phosphorus in a residential area, which Israel has been documented doing all.
So this is the smoke that they apparently is throwing around in Gaza right now, man, what's causing people to choke and all types of stuff.
Over Gaza. This goes over a building. Everything is disintegrated. You get a little bit on you, there's nothing you can do. It'll burn straight through your body and leave it looking like Swiss cheese. And that is what
so it's actually killing people.
has happened to Lord knows how many Palestinians. They have circular holes in them from the use of these banned chemical weapons. Besides melting your face off, the fumes these weapons release all over an area that it's dropped over is toxic to human beings. The weapons and tactics Israel is deploying to destroy the Palestinian people in Gaza are man-made horrors beyond our comprehension. And hopefully in the next few years, much of this atrocity will be uncovered with international investigations and reporters being able to enter Gaza. But if Israel is able to get their hands on all of the Gaza Strip, they will likely do what they're doing to North Gaza right now, which is razing it to the ground, every building, with construction equipment to conceal the crimes of this genocide. Free Palestine. Help more people see this video by interacting and sharing. If you appreciate my work, I encourage you, go to my bio and follow me on Substack. It's a great way to support me. Thank you.
Got breaking news out of Gaza. An airstrike at a hospital has killed at least 19 people, including 4 journalists. That's according to
Dang, 19 people and 4 journalists, bro.
Palestinian health officials. One of the journalists killed was a freelancer who had been working for the Associated Press.
A civilian, someone that didn't have nothing to do with the war or anything.
Al Jazeera and Reuters have also confirmed their journalists and freelancers
They killing
died in the
innocent
strike.
people, man.
Israel's defense forces responded to the reports announcing plans to conduct an initial inquiry as soon as possible. It adds, the IDF regrets any harm to uninvolved individuals and does not target journalists as
And I just want to throw this in here, man. If this stuff doesn't mess with your spirit, man, if this stuff doesn't, like, messes with you, man, you need to ask yourself, man, do you really have a heart for the people, man? Because this stuff is sick, man. Nobody should have to go through this, man. Nobody. I don't care where you're at. United States, Gaza, Africa, anywhere, man. You should not have to go through this, man.
such. The IDF acts to mitigate harm to uninvolved individuals as much as possible,
People that don't
while
have nothing to
maintaining
do with
the
nothing.
safety of IDF troops. Jonathan, what more can you add to
Yeah,
this?
so this is from Reuters just now, a few moments ago. It's a developing story. Things are still fluid. But Reuters also confirms that one of its journalists, a man named Hussam al-Masri, was killed in this strike, but adds this detail. There had been apparently an initial strike at the hospital there, at a hospital in Gaza. Journalists and rescue workers then responded to the scene
To cover it and
to cover it, to help people, whatever, to check the damage, to see what's going on. And then a second strike came. So that's why these rescue workers and journalists were killed, because they were responding to the hospital. Israel hit it again. That's according to Reuters, which said they had a live stream on the hospital that, of course, then went dark when the strike hits.
So it happened around 10 a.m. this morning, and for context, to give our audience a lay of the land, Nasser Hospital is the largest, the only functioning hospital in the south. And the part of Nasser Hospital that was hit, you guys, is really important. You can see it in the videos. It was a staircase, and the reason this staircase was targeted very clearly is that this is where journalists since the early days of the war have gathered to get Wi-Fi signal. We have seen videos they've posted on social media. Our team, which used to work right close to that staircase, would share videos of them holding their phones to the sky, kind of huddled over laptops in the wee hours of the night. But journalists, since the beginning of this war, you guys, since they have been personally displaced, have flocked to hospitals to use resources like Wi-Fi, to use power, to use water. So this staircase, journalists were on the staircase this morning when it was struck around 10 a.m. And as Jonathan just laid out, minutes later, as first responders were racing up to that area, as other journalists in the area were going to cover the strike, another drone strike hit that same exact spot. Mika, we actually have updates from the numbers that you just
So they got hit twice.
As Jonathan says, this is a very fast-moving story. It is now at least 20 people killed, including 5 journalists. As you mentioned, AP, Reuters, and Al Jazeera have all said that at least 3 of those journalists were working for them. And this brings the total of journalists killed in Gaza since October 7th to 245 journalists.
245 journalists, man. Killed since October. It's crazy, man.
Media workers. These are our colleagues, our peers who have been killed in the last 22 months.
Dang, man, that is crazy, man. This is sad,
Famine has
bro.
been officially declared in Gaza for the first time in what has been described as a failure of humanity. In other words, hundreds of thousands of people are suffering from starvation. The announcement was made by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, a UN-backed organisation that monitors global hunger. The IPC had been warning for months that Gaza was on the verge of famine, but they had never officially declared one because the threshold to meet the definition is extremely high. But now the situation in Gaza is so bad that there is no longer any doubt that it's famine. And crucially, they say that this famine, this starvation, is a man-made one which has been deliberately
man-made. So that mean that they think that the famine is purpose intentionally. The government is running this famine or something. If they saying that it's man-made, the government is behind it. Why the market and stuff is low on food right now. It's crazy,
impacted
bro.
by Israel, with the key drivers being Israel's new assault on Gaza City, its mass displacement of Palestinians, and its near-total blockade of aid. And the IPC have warned that this famine will worsen and spread if this continues, with hundreds of thousands projected to suffer from malnutrition. Hundreds have already died from starvation in recent days, and this number is likely to rise into thousands or tens of thousands if this continues. Israel, meanwhile, has rejected the findings and continues to claim that there is no famine in Gaza despite the overwhelming evidence. And they're currently showing no signs of stopping their assault on Gaza City, which means that things will only continue to get worse.
And that's what it looked like, man. Like, things are getting worse and worse, man. As the word of God says, man. Like I say, man, read your Bible, man. The book of Revelations, man. All this stuff will happen, man. There will be famines, there'll be wars and earthquakes, man. Storms in numerous different locations, man. All that stuff is happening right now, man, as we speak, bro.
Fuck it, the United States of Israel won't tell you this, so I will. It is now being confirmed that there is a famine going on in Gaza with over 500,000 people currently starving. And I'm sure you're going to want a source. I have two to provide for you. One of
500,000 people is a lot of people. That is not a small portion of people.
my sources being the United Nations. The other very credible source that I could provide is the World Health Organization, both confirming that 500,000 people are going to lose their lives soon due to starvation.
All these souls, man.
So for all of the people that are so pro-Israel in America, and our media, and our government that are claiming that this is some kind of fake myth that's going on, it's not. It's real. And people that are silent are complicit, and if you're paying taxes, you're actually funding what Israel is doing in Gaza and the famine being created for the people of Palestine. And it's up to you to decide what you're going to do. But me, I'm sure as hell gonna keep speaking out against Israel.
It is a famine. The Gaza famine.
Famine has been declared in Gaza City, where hundreds of thousands of people live. So what does that mean? Now, the declaration of famine has been made by the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification. It's known as the IPC, and it's backed
Full security phase acquisition.
by agencies from around the world, including the United Nations. The IPC says that the Gaza Governorate, which includes Gaza City, is facing a level 5 famine. That is the highest level.
Level 5's famine in Gaza, bro. That's the highest level that it can go. That's crazy, bro. Like, this is like, if you have a way to support these people or help these families, if you can do this, man, if you have them, man, please help them, man. Like, this is, like, the world is so wicked, man. Like, people do not help each other. That's the problem, man. We all need to just help each other, man. If people had compassion for one another and actually care for others, the Bible say, love your neighbor as you love yourself, man, the world would be a better place, man. The world would be so much better if everybody loved the next person as much as they love themselves.
What it means is that at least 20% of households are facing a total lack of food or other basic needs. It also says that starvation, death and destitution are evident in this area. And it says that the mortality rate because of hunger is 2 people dying out of every 10,000 people in the population every day. The IPC says that 500,000 people in Gaza now face catastrophic food shortages. The United Nations...
And it's only, you've seen it at the beginning, he said it's only hundreds of thousands of people that live in Gaza. So if 500,000 is starving, that's majority of the population, bro.
It says this report offers irrefutable evidence of famine, and says the situation has been worsened by some Israeli leaders using hunger as a weapon of war.
My ask, my plea, my demand to Prime Minister Netanyahu and anyone who can reach him: enough.
The UN claims that aid convoys have been stopped from reaching Gaza because of what it calls systematic obstruction. The Israeli government says the absolute opposite. It denies there's a famine and says this report is based on flawed, biased evidence. It maintains that if there is hunger in Gaza, that's down to Hamas, stealing aid and exploiting hunger for political reasons. And just as this report comes out, Israel is making final preparations for a huge military operation to encircle and then take over Gaza City, a place that is...
And this the part, like, they trying to blame it on Israel, man, but I believe that Hamas is behind this, man. I really do, man. Like, they trying to turn everyone against Israel. As the Bible says, all nations will turn against Israel for them to come back to the truth of God, man. This stuff has to happen, man.
...are the focus of so much attention.
This stuff is... God's prophecy is coming to truth, man.
How much of Gaza has Israel destroyed? The Israel Defense Forces have now started their latest offensive on Gaza City. For Palestinians there and across the Strip, the land is now almost entirely uninhabitable. Almost all of Gaza is either controlled by the Israeli military or subject to its evacuation warnings. Most of the remaining population now lives within this small area. Much of Gaza has been flattened. Satellite imagery reveals the scale of the destruction. A UN agency identified damage to more than 190,000 buildings. That's 70% of Gaza's pre-war structures. This destruction has left vast amounts of rubble across Gaza, an estimated 53.5 million tons. The World Bank reckons all this translates to roughly 300,000 homes damaged or destroyed, 62% of Gaza's total. The damage to Gaza isn't only from Israeli airstrikes. Israeli forces have used demolitions and bulldozers to destroy residential areas.
Dang, man, that's triple the trouble. Airstrikes, bulldozers, and demolitions, bro.
The IDF has said it only destroys buildings out of military necessity in its fight against Hamas. But there is ample evidence to suggest otherwise. One objective appears to be to create a military buffer zone along Gaza's border. These videos were posted on social media by an IDF soldier. They show the controlled destruction of entire neighborhoods. They were reportedly taken in Gaza, a town in southern Gaza. By July 2025, it was completely flattened. If a permanent buffer zone is created and residents are unable to return, Israel's actions would amount to ethnic cleansing. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said it is not Israel's policy to settle Gaza.
We don't want to stay in Gaza, that's not our purpose.
But some of the Prime Minister's powerful allies have not hidden their desire to ethnically cleanse the territory.
צה"ל ממשיך עוד לטהר ולהפוך כל אבן ולהשמיד תשתיות. האזרחים העזתים מרוכזים בדרום, מיואשים לחלוטין, מבינים שאין שם תוחלת ואין מה לחפש בעזה, ומחפשים רילוקיישן להתחיל חיים חדשים במקומות אחרים.
People in Gaza have begun thinking the unthinkable. A survey conducted in May by a leading Palestinian pollster found that 43% of residents would be willing to emigrate at the end of the war. That's striking because Palestinians have a well-grounded fear that if they do manage to leave, Israel will never let them return. Israel's actions in Gaza are leaving Palestinians there with an impossible choice: be forced out or fight to survive in a place that's almost entirely uninhabitable.
It's a tough, man. Palestinians trying to get aid come under Israeli gunfire in Gaza.
يلا تحرك ايش قلت له. جنبينا طلق وقع.
Dang, man. As you see, man, this is not a time to be in Gaza, man. These people are going through it, and some of these people are regular people like me and you, man, that's just trying to get help, man, and getting killed, man, losing their lives because of this stuff, man.
It's been another deadly day in Gaza. Officials there say at least 33 people have been killed by Israeli strikes and shootings. Among them were Palestinians who were sheltering in tents and who were seeking scarce food.
See what I'm saying? Regular people in tents, man, and trying to get food, man.
It comes a day after a UN-backed group that monitors food crises declared that 500,000 Palestinians living in the Gaza City area are in the grips of a potentially life-threatening man-made famine. What's more, the group, the Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, or IPC, projects that by the end of September, famine will spread to much of the rest of Gaza. Earlier I spoke with...
And y'all know what it's for. We all know what's this stuff for. It's all because of control. They want to control people, man. People just want to control each other. That's the problem, man. You cannot control others, man. Only person you can control is yourself.
Chris McIntosh, Oxfam's humanitarian response advisor in Gaza. He's in Gaza City.
Right now in Gaza, what we're seeing is exactly what we were predicting for months, ever since the imposition of the blockade at the beginning of March. And in that time, very few trucks have gotten in, very limited amounts of food. So what we're seeing is people that are gaunt, people that are drawn in the face, and they're moaning because they haven't eaten, because they're fundamentally malnourished, they're not getting enough food, they're not getting the right amounts of food. And this is on top of the devastating bombing that's happening on a daily basis here in the Gaza Strip.
The IPC report said immediate, large-scale, unobstructed, multi-sector humanitarian assistance is needed. What would that look like?
What that would look like is the crossings into Gaza would be opened and unfettered access to supplies would come in, for starters. Secondly, that would require a ceasefire. People are in need of nearly everything, including food, of course, access to health care, and they need to start living dignified lives, and that's just not happening, right?
Prime Minister Netanyahu called the report an outright lie. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee said tons of food has gone into Gaza, but Hamas savages stole it, ate lots of it to become corpulent, sold it on the black.
These guys are savages, man. They stealing people food. They take, man, this is crazy, man.
Market. What do you say to that?
I say that couldn't be further from the truth, John. And just to use basic metrics to get the point across here, prior to the blockade being imposed at the beginning of March, there were approximately 600 trucks being brought into Gaza every day. And now we're looking at 1/6 of that. These notions that there is tons coming in, it's just not true. And it's missing absolutely critical nuance. But this is how the Israelis operate fundamentally. They will create the conditions by which a simple yes or no question needs to be answered in the affirmative. Is there aid coming into Gaza? The answer is yes. But the next question needs to be, is it enough? And that answer is a resounding absolutely not.
Is there more aid sitting at the border that is waiting to come in?
This is one of the tragic ironies of the situation, without any question. There's food 360 degrees around the Gaza Strip. And agencies like Oxfam have, for us in particular, to the tune of $2.5 million worth of food and other equipment waiting there at the border. The problem is, our organization and about 60 others were told that we're simply not authorized to bring in any aid.
How is your staff, your workers, how are they dealing with this, coping with this problem?
What I'm seeing right now is our staff and people on the street purely in survival mode of finding enough clean water for themselves and their family, about finding food that will sustain them through the next day, and then doing it all over the next day. But the average Gazan is under a tremendous amount of pressure. most of their day, 75% of their day, is just dedicated to actions that will help them survive and their families.
Could there be long-term health effects, even if food started flowing again? Has sort of damage already been done to people's health?
Unfortunately, yes. Children, if they go sustained periods of being malnourished, they'll experience developmental problems that can last the rest of their lives. And so that's why it's so critical. And people are starving, children are malnourished to the degree that it will be lasting effects, and people are dying.
Give us a sense of what it's like, not just the physical problems right now, but just what it's like to be there.
Let me put it this way. Having grown up in Northeast Ohio, I wasn't prepared for what I'm seeing on the ground now. There's no aspect of existence that's not polluted by what's happening here. In the mornings in Dir Abara, I look out the window of the kitchen, and I see that there's a yellow dumpster right outside the window, down on the street. Lately, on a daily basis, I see children inside that dumpster, searching, rummaging all the way down to the bottom to find a scrap of food, to find something that will burn so that their families can cook, or something otherwise that can be sold for food. And I think it says a lot about where we are right now. And nobody should have to experience that, especially not children.
Man.
What can be done? I'm a firm believer that periods of darkness are an invitation. It's an invitation to be the light to carry us out of that darkness. This is the darkness that we read about in history books. And that invitation is to be the country that we tell ourselves we are, to be the country that we want to be, and ultimately to be the country that we should be. So the action is in petitioning representatives and making it clear that we don't want to be on the bad side of history. We want to be the light, and we don't want to contribute to the darkness any longer.
Chris McIntosh, a Vox fan from Gaza City. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you imagine?
These major news agencies, and the fourth journalist worked for Associated Press. Her name is Mariam Daga. Associated Press put out a statement saying they were shocked and saddened to learn of her death. She was a visual journalist. They said she has worked for the Associated Press since the start of the war. She was at Al-Nasser Hospital to report on children suffering from severe malnutrition. On Friday, the UN's Hunger Watch dog confirmed famine in Gaza City and other parts near Gaza City of the Strip. So she was covering the children being treated for malnutrition at the hospital. The deaths of these journalists brings the number of journalists killed in the Gaza Strip to over 200. And that's only going to add to the allegations by the various global and local news organizations involved in the protection of journalists to say that journalists are being deliberately targeted in the Gaza Strip. And of course, aid agencies have said that hospital workers, aid workers have also consistently been targeted by Israel over the course of this war, nearly 2 years long now. Israel consistently says that it is targeting Hamas operatives. It accuses Hamas of using hospitals as human shields, or the people in them as human shields. This is a devastating number for our colleagues, and as you know, Israel does not allow international journalists into the Gaza Strip. They are our eyes and ears, and they are the ones who are shouldering the risk of covering this conflict, and they are the ones who are suffering.
Hey, man. Dang, man. Gaza, man. As y'all can see, man, Gaza experiencing extreme famine, man. Pray for Gaza, man. Man, spread love, man. If you can, man, help out, man. Send your love and condolences to the families that's losing loved ones in Gaza, man. This is crazy, man. I hope this touched you guys, man. Comment down below, man. What do you think? Is this Israel or is this Hamas doing this to Gaza, man? Let me know, man, because I believe that they're blaming it on Israel, but I don't believe that Israel is behind this, man. So let me know what your thoughts are on that in the comments, man. But enjoy your Friday, man. God bless, man. Remember, stay safe out here. See y'all in the next one. We out.